And for his part, John Edwards held town hall meetings in Reno and Las Vegas today. Before he departed for Reno, I sat down with the former senator and asked him what he would do about the looming recession and the mortgage crisis.
I was actually the first of the three of us to come out with a really aggressive stimulus package and a plan to do something about the mortgage crisis. Stimulus package is green infrastructure, building out green infrastructure, which is a great jobs creation mechanism, modernizing our unemployment insurance laws so we get more help to people who are being left out, more help to the states who unfortunately are cutting budgets and as a result keeping money out of the economy, and it needs to be in the economy, not out of the economy. And on the mortgage crisis, I think we need a home rescue fund to help with some transitional financing and some counseling for people who are struggling. We need to give bankruptcy courts the authority to restructure these loans. We need to put pressure on lenders to make more refinancing options available. This is a huge issue right here in Nevada because they have an enormous foreclosure rate in this state.
You have proposed tax cuts for middle-income Americans to try to stimulate the economy, and at the same time, your overall economic plan and your position on taxes is to roll back the Bush tax cuts on people making above $200,000 a year.
Right.
Is this the time to be raising taxes on anyone?
What we ought to be doing is we ought to be helping middle-class families, helping provide them with some financial security. This economic stimulus I just talked about will do that. Dealing with the downside, which are the foreclosures, is a piece of it. But we also just got to give direct help to middle-class families. That's what my tax cuts are for.
But you're not putting more money, you're just keeping the amount of money that they've got now.
But they're going to pay the same tax rates that they paid in the 1990s, when the economy was booming, by the way. So I think what makes sense is roll back those tax cuts, give more for the wealthiest Americans.
Even in the face of a recession?
As long as we're doing what we need to do for middle-class families. It would be a huge mistake to raise taxes on middle-class families. They need help. They don't need to be carrying an additional tax burden.
In the Michigan primary, which your name was not on the ballot, nor was Barack Obama's, Hillary Clinton was the only one of the major candidates who was on the ballot. 68% of African Americans in Michigan voted uncommitted in the primary.
Really? I had not heard that.
What kind of signal do you think that sends to Hillary Clinton?
Well, that would indicate to me that they're looking for another candidate. I mean, that's the only way to read it, I think.
On the issue of Iraqi reconciliation, Nouri al-Maliki finally seems to be gaining some strength in his position, perhaps as a result of the fact that the surge appears to have reduced the amount of violence in Iraq. However, the United States, General Petraeus and his advisors are concerned that al-Maliki is not going to use that power to reconcile the differences between the Shiites and the Sunnis. In fact, he may just entrench his partisan, his sectarian power. If you were president, what would you tell him right now?
I'd tell him we're going to start leaving. I'd start drawing out 40, 50,000 troops immediately. And I'd say we're going to be gone from here in 9 to 12 months, 9 to 10 months. And if you're going to ever make an effort, you better do it now, because otherwise you're going to be left with the consequences.
Senator Edwards, it's always great to catch up with you.
Thanks, John.